Everything good must come to an end, and that's why Family Guy is still running.
What is that, a woodpecker?
Hold on. I'm in no way saying Family Guy isn't good. I'm saying that it's great. Amazing even. It is such a giant cash cow, even the biggest media conglomerate to ever exist can't get rid of it. Heck, it survived the corporate guillotine like 3 times, and surely it can survive 3 more. I mean, yeah, I know it's kinda complicated, but there are a few signs you can pick up on which hint towards a show being drastically changed, or ending. An example would be, The Amazing World of Gumball. The Amazing World of Gumball continually changed as they had to keep changing out the voice actor because they got too old. You can't have an old Gumball, that's weird. Plenty of other shows also had to change voice actors for main characters, which is fine, as it doesn't really inhibit a show from continuing. But it might for Family Guy. You know Seth Macfarlane, the creator of Family Guy, the voice actor of Peter Stree, Brian Glenn, Kevin Swanson, Tom Tucker, Carter Pewterschmidt, the Dr. Guy, this kid Seamus, and Brown Sister and Kool-Aid Man, and God. And if you're familiar with Family Guy over the past year, you would likely be aware that they did change a cast member, that being the voice of Cleveland Brown. Although he's not really one of the main cast, him being recasted doesn't affect the show. Wanna know what might affect the show? The main guy leaving. Now, it's no secret that Seth is the bread and butter of media. He plays a majority of the characters in Family Guy. In fact, to even prove how good he is, he made an entire episode by himself. And the ironic part is, it's one of the best episodes. Seth Macfarlane is the definition of a one-man band. And whenever you get rid of that one man, what do you have? Nothing. You have nothing. The counterpoint would be, Andrew, surely if Seth is the heart of Family Guy, and Family Guy is one of the most iconic shows of all time, it doesn't benefit anyone to end Family Guy. And you're correct. Usually shows come to an end whenever they get particularly low ratings, or alternatively, a controversy will just haunt the show to the point of cancellation, and the more tragic outcome is the main character dies and they end it because they can't continue. The example that comes to mind for me is Father Ted, although it's not worth using that show as an example, because it's live action and not a cartoon. So hey, maybe they can continue Family Guy after Seth leaves. And no, I'm not saying that Seth is gonna die, although he has come weirdly close. Speaking of weird, recent Family Guys had a boost in quality. Weird, I know. At the time of recording, season 19 has ended and we're patiently awaiting season 20. Now, I'm not saying that the show getting better is a sign that it's ending. In fact, it can mean the exact opposite. We're in a purgatory-like period right now where we can step back and evaluate Family Guy. No, I'm not talking about reviewing every Family Guy episode. Somebody out there is probably already doing that right now. I'm talking about where we go from here and the future of the franchise. Because even though I like Family Guy, it's obvious it's past its prime. Will it get it back? Maybe. But getting back on track, we gotta talk about everything currently streaming Family Guy. Firstly, we have Seth Macfarlane. What I said earlier on is true. Seth is the soul of Family Guy, although it's glaringly obvious that even he doesn't feel anything for it anymore. He stopped writing for the show after season 8, which was over 10 years ago. Ever since then, he's just been voice acting, a puppet moving to the will of other people around him. What's Seth been doing in the meantime now? Good question, I don't know. Nah, I'm joking. He's been spending time making The Orville, currently in production for the 3rd season, which started in March 2021, which wasn't that long ago. So Seth is busy, which doesn't stop the fact that season 20 is scheduled to come out next year. That's fine. What I think is better to talk about is how Family Guy is over 21 years old enough to buy a beverage, and it doesn't seem like it's stopping anytime soon. If you want to compare it to anything, compare to The Simpsons, which is on season 32, running for well over 30. With no signs of stopping. I'm not advocating for The Simpsons ending, nor am I advocating for Family Guy ending, but you have to admit, both of these shows are shells of their former selves, falling victim to flanderization. Flanderization being a term made for The Simpsons. Andrew, what does flanderization mean? I'm glad you asked. Flanderization is whenever a character becomes a caricature of themselves. If you want an easy explanation, say you walk up to one of those wee guys in the street that do those wee funky drawings where they give you big ears, teeth, etc. But instead of your physical appearance, it's a character and how they act. They take the fundamental aspects of a character, crank it to 11 and disregard everything else. This is why characters change over time in a show. The term was even made for Ned Flanders, who over time just became an exaggerated parody of himself. And that's the Hercules heel of a long-running show. Unintentionally, or intentionally, devolving a character down to a few character traits and just gradually shaving off every ounce of character you have, till you're left with a flat and basic character you can milk to any situation. Happened with Family Guy, which is why a lot of people don't like it anymore, at least compared to what it used to be. How would you stop it though? Well, it's going to be practically impossible if you're a long-running show without the creator, because you have several problems stopping you. Number 1, you have a large amount of staff who all chip in for an episode. And yes, while it is helpful in that you can get better decision making about the do's and the don'ts in an episode, you still have number 2. Multiple episodes being made at once. With an episode of Family Guy taking up to a year to get made, you can't oversee every episode and make sure each of them stay one-to-one true with what the characters were meant to be. What I mean by meant to be is that sometimes in Family Guy, characters will have a switch flipped in their character and they suddenly act differently. The degree of which being variable, but it means you'll have to make the characterization of a character broader to accommodate more people writing. And then, whenever you have several hundred episodes of a show, you need to simplify a character, so you don't run out of ideas. Writing is hard, and I don't have a degree in it, nor am I even that good at it. Heck, I even suck at writing these videos, but it's me that's writing it. I'm the creator. I am directly involved in the writing, the recording, and so on. And Family Guy being a massive media giant means everything is segregated, and that means that it would be extremely hard to have one person overview all of it. And I know that despite what I said, there is most likely one person overviewing it all right now. According to Google, it's Steve Callahan, who's been with this show from conception. Probably makes you think that everything I said previously is then made redundant. But that's the kicker. It wasn't made redundant, it made my point stronger. Because you have to boil a character down to their fundamental traits to be adaptable to any situation. Because you don't want to run out of ideas. Come on, we talked about this. Where do we go from here? Let's say I'm Seth Macfarlane. I am a busy guy, and I have Family Guy as a knife in my side, constantly getting turned and pulled as I'm trying to pursue my other passions. As a man who has dabbled with the English language, I have made this knife symbolic of Family Guy's grasp, the stab it has in everyone and everything. AndrewIG has a Family Guy knife in his stomach. His friends have a Family Guy knife in their stomachs too. What can I, Seth Macfarlane, do to alleviate this pain? Obviously you take out the knife, right? That would be symbolic of ending Family Guy. At least that's what I aimed for writing the script. So how do we take out the knife? That is Family Guy. Sure, you can take it out by gradually pulling it out over a long period of time. I envision that this would be symbolic to continue making seasons despite the show getting gradually worse. Or you can pull it out. Either way, you're still getting a knife pulled out of you. You know, doing a little bit of retrospective, maybe the knife analogy isn't a good one. That's not good advice, I'm backing off of that. Let's change it to a plaster or a band-aid. I don't know. You can slowly pull it off over time, or just rip it off right there and then. I don't know about you, but I, Seth Macfarlane, would choose to rip it off. How would I rip it off? Make a Family Guy movie that's been anticipated for the past 10 years. Forget the fact that there was a straight-to-DVD Family Guy movie. I don't count it. Plus, that's not what I, Seth Macfarlane, point to whenever somebody mentions the prospect of a Family Guy movie. I think of a bigger, bolder, and family-guilier movie. Why did I type that? A movie that would take advantage of all the best aspects of the show and compile it into a 90-minute romp full of action, higher quality animation, and music. Make use of the best aspect of Family Guy, the music. It'll be a musical. Listen, if you've watched the road 2 episodes of Family Guy, you would know that Family Guy works best when it goes for a theatrical aesthetic. The grand Frank Sinatra-like singing provided by me, Seth Macfarlane. Heck, Seth Macfarlane, had the voice Mike from Sing. And yes, I typed that up, I do not remember his name. And I pelted that microphone. I did wonders. And if you've heard the Family Guy music, you would have heard the exact same voice, just applied to more adult situations. I am no longer Seth Macfarlane. I'm Andrew again. God damn it. But wow, Seth, a Family Guy movie that's a musical? That sounds great. I guess I could make it centric around the entire family coming together to defeat a creator evil. A bit like the Mitchells vs. the Machines, but with adult humour, and ultimately better than the Mitchells vs. the Machines. Okay, that's partially a joke. I love that movie. Just anything Family Guy trumps it in every way possible. No, I'm not joking. But that's an ideal scenario for a Family Guy movie, and I genuinely believe that. And you could strip Family Guy back down to its most basic components. Try and get us to care about the characters again. I want the mixture of what the characters used to be versus what they are now. I want them to be a family again. A family with problems, but ultimately a family, like how it used to be. Turn Peter back into a loving yet goofy husband. Turn Brian back into a chill straight man, instead of some cocky asshole. I don't mind Stewie's character that much. If you want to make him evil again, go for it, although I doubt it would add much. Family Guy's humour is focused around parody, being self-aware and hyperbole. You watch it because you want to see what dumb shenanigans the family gets up to. And it's animation, so they can do anything within that realm. My plot may be a dumb idea, but I think it works pretty well. I wanted to parody that one Simpsons Disney Plus advert. You know, the one where they realise they're being bought over by a massive corporation and they just back down and submit? The Family Guy Disney Plus advert doesn't take the same approach. In fact, their approach was lame. No jokes about being a part of a giant media conglomerate. Nothing. How would I redeem this? Make the entire Family Guy movie a self-aware parody that's aware the IP is being taken over by Disney. Would it actually happen? No, I doubt Disney would want to be bundled in with a Family Guy movie in that manner. But hey, I reckon it's a great fit. Come on. And musicals are commonly associated with Disney anyway. Come on, it's a great fit. Regarding the story, I glossed over it earlier on. But I think if you had the movie start off with the Griffins living their regular lives and then have there be, you know, a little bit of animosity there. Have everyone not get along smoothly, you know, a bit dysfunctional. And then randomly, they get a knock on the door from a Disney executive. We'll call him Jeff. And yes, I have no better name for him, I'm not gonna lie. Who's initially a friend, but gradually becomes a villain over time. Not that he's actually a bad guy, but he's unaware of the damage he's causing, you know? The Griffins aren't initially sold on the idea of joining Disney, but then in the first act of the movie, they gradually get sold on the idea. As Peter is pissed off at everyone in the house and signs a contract, and then from that point on, the Griffins get granted their lifelong wishes. Like Meg would become a Disney princess, weird I know, but Meg becoming a Disney princess gives her power, and she would finally be deemed socially worthy by her peers. As she's portrayed in the show as a bit of a nerd, Brian could become a world famous author, Stewie gets like a weapon or something, Lois could get like hot Mexican dudes or wine or anything. What's her hobby? I don't know. What would Chris even want? Listen, the gimmick is that each character gradually gets all they wanted in life. Everyone but Peter. Now you're probably thinking, what about Peter? Why doesn't he get anything? Well, for my hypothetical Family Guy movie, Peter asks, well, what do I get? I'm not going to do that again. But he's cut off as the family are busy enjoying their wishes. This would all be in the first act, and then a little trick, a dupe if you will. The Griffin family signs a contract without properly looking at it, and then from that point forward, Jeff brings back old Family Guy characters to milk them and to pump the cash cow, like Disney do. And then the Griffin family are scundered as they fight to protect their freedom. Part of me thought, hey, wouldn't it be cool if they brought back Bertram? Family Guy will casually kill off characters and keep that in the continuity. And over the years, many Family Guy characters have died. Maybe I'm dumb, but you could bring back a lot of dead characters in our main cast, just be disgusted and upset. I'm talking bring back Diane Simmons, Bertram. If you want to be really dark, bring back Mayor West, but that would be in bad taste in my opinion, which is why I wouldn't do it, although I wouldn't put it past Family Guy, as they've done a lot worse, I'll say that much. Everything Jeff does makes the Griffins like him a bit less over time. And of course it's Family Guy. Have a couple of jokes and cutaway gags, but keep it to a minimum. Personally, I think it would be more disingenuous to Family Guy if they just abandoned the conventions the show adheres to in order to become some bog standard family rom. Not that it will be, it'll still be Family Guy. Although like Family Guy, there is room for a genuine story to be told. And that's what's happening here. The Griffins get pissed off at Disney for bringing back dead characters, it's simple. And then the Griffins have to gradually defeat every character they bring back. Is my story messy? Maybe, but I feel bringing back written off characters that the Griffins fight would help pace the movie really well. Plus, it would give a reason for old fans to come back. Now that I think about it, it's kind of like Sonic Forces, but better. But I think it would be really funny if Joe got given legs by Jeff, and then Joe has to hunt down Peter, and then they fight just like they did that one time. Except this time, the Griffins help Peter beat Joe before shooting Joe's legs again, confining him back to a wheelchair. It's a great idea. I think that an appropriate climax would be Jeff coming back and whipping out a giant robot or something, and give the robot the option to destroy Quahog because the Griffins aren't complying with the contract, and then have a big fight between the Griffins and the robot, and then have it be initially the Griffins get beat up by the robot, but then every alive Family Guy character comes back and helps the Griffin family beat the robot and save Quahog. Peter is given the ability to lay the final blow on Jeff, and then Jeff tells Peter, pardon my voice acting, I'm not that good. Peter, I can grant your lifelong wish. And then if Peter be like, what is it? And then Jeff is like, I can give you a loving family. And then he goes on to talk about how the Griffins are dysfunctional, showing several clips of the family being problematic. And then it even points to the introduction scene where the Griffins are having an argument. Jeff ends off saying, Peter, I can give you a better life at the snap of a finger. What keeps you in this hellhole? And then he points to everyone down below. Peter then looks at everyone on the ground. And then Peter looks back at Jeff, says, I love my family. Despite everything we've been through, we love each other. And then Peter gives Jeff a swift left hook to the jaw, and the robot begins collapsing, and Peter falls back to the ground. Then the Griffins hug, and everyone walks off to rebuild Quahog. Then we get a montage of Quahog being rebuilt, and at the end of the montage, the screen fades to black, and red curtains open up. As the Family Guy, live in Vega's version of the intro plays, which, if you're not aware of, it's basically the intro except extended. You would most likely change some lyrics around to make it more relevant to the movie. Also, maybe it's a last minute addition, but the entire movie should have higher quality animation than the show. It's a movie, come on! My wording of the movie pitch? I don't know, I probably would change a bit of it, but I feel that a majority of it is good, and would make for a good film. I do believe that making the movie a musical would be the best option if it was the end. You would likely want there to be a few more bangers, eh? A final hurrah, if you will. You could even make a joke saying Peter is the Family Guy. Yeah, I'll leave. Thank you for watching. We're gonna hit June hard. Thank you to Wacky Deli and GeekTunes for making this video possible, and I'll see you, soon.